All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are actually going to head down to Illinois and meet with Groenewalds. We got to take them some coons from last year that we just thawed out that were in the freezer. And we are going to get a market update for you guys. One thing everybody wants to know
is what are these going to be worth? Averaged $80 at the Fur Harvesters auction this last spring. I want to know if it's going to hold on, as do all you.
we caught a few skunks for you guys this week to kind of give you an idea what they're going to bring. And then we actually found one on the road. We cut his tail off, so you guys will kind of have an idea what they're buying, just the tails too, since that's what's really in demand. So we're going to see what that brings. We've got a couple decent ones here.
And I almost got kicked out of the house by the wife because they do stink.
Yeah.
Really bad. I don't care what you do.
Yeah.
They're going to stink.
Oh, we're about 40 minutes out. We're out in the sticks here. Pretty cool countryside. These skunks are thawing out, man. It's getting to be too much. It's bad in here. This is a bad vehicle to bring down here. Should have brought the pickup, but it rained all day, so our fur would have been soaked. Where do you want me to bring it?
Right here.
Right here.
Yeah.
Okay, and then skunks.
Skunks, I don't know, Bryce will do them back there, if we do them separate, or if we do them, how many coon do you have?
Like 50, 60,
Okay.
somewhere in there.
Okay,
And then
let me-
skunks, we only got 4 of them. We got 2 of them that we got yesterday. They stink
Okay.
a little bit. Does that matter? Or?
Are they in the carcass?
No, we skin them.
Oh, okay, good.
Yep.
Okay, no, that's okay.
Yep, okay.
Yeah.
All right, bring them over. We did not find one skunk on the road on the way down here.
Didn't?
Not one.
Were you looking?
6,
Yes.
yes.
I know you guys were looking.
6
Yeah.
hours. We brought a little bucket. We were gonna cut the tails off.
What does that mean?
Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, the word's out. People know.
He said they saw it 6 hours and they didn't see one skunk.
Not one.
Oh, really? So these are the first coon I bought of the year.
These ones are?
First
That's
brain
great.
coon I've looked
Yeah.
at since last year, yeah. But remember, these are December coons.
Yeah.
We have them viewing. These aren't caught the 15th of
Right.
October.
Yep.
It opens the 15th, doesn't it, or something?
No, 25th this year. Somehow we're real late.
Oh, okay. Okay, basically the way I've got them here, just
Yep.
to let you know. I've
Yep.
got, these are your 12s, these are your 8s, these are gonna be, I'm just putting my new prices down
Yep.
here. These are your 4s and these are your 2s,
Okay.
okay? You had 44 coon,
Okay.
okay? You had 4 at 12, you had 16 at 8, 16 at 4, 6 at 2, and 2 are gonna be $1.
Okay.
44 coon, okay?
What's that average? Does it say?
You average 577,
Okay.
okay?
Yep.
Okay, anyone get some skunk tails?
Yeah, that's.
Well, we got-
the main.
Skunks?
Let's see how we break it down.
Copy for this.
Got strong ones in here.
Oh, okay.
We had it froze.
Oh, okay.
And
We got further like, oh. And then we have just a tail that, one that we cut off.
Okay. Good. Clean up your sinuses. Yeah.
So why do they want? So they want you want the white in the tails.
Yeah, so down here at the bottom of the tail, this is too
Yep.
soft and short.
Yep.
You see when you get to the top half of the long white
Yep.
here.
Yep.
So that's what we're looking for. Like this one here, these are too short.
Yep.
You see, and this one just has a few.
Yep.
Very not much usable. So that one really is not enough to be usable.
Okay.
Once they get a little bit more than that, you know, they can be worth something.
Yep.
This one here,
So it's for the hat, right?
it's for hats. Yep. So this one here is. It's still not super long. It's like to come here.
Yep.
It's a little choppy looking there.
Call them, yeah, we have a
These two
special
would
name
have
for
a
them.
little value, a little choppy looking. So
Do
it's
some of these get in the spring or not? Are these fresh?
these are all
These
fresh.
are fresh.
Okay.
Yep.
What happens is I guess they pick their tail hairs out a little bit.
Okay.
Uh, It's when they get irritated, they pick the tail hairs out.
And it falls out so quick.
So these two here, are usable, good tails.
Yep.
I call these like a number 2.
Yep.
So the second, we're making 3 grades of tails. So the most white is number 1s.
Okay.
These would be the number 2s usable. And then these are really would be like the poor end of the number 3s.
Yep.
So I would probably be on a regular number 3, $10 more in here. But these two I would be $10 a piece.
Yep.
These two here would be $30 a piece.
Okay.
For this.
So you really, all you need is the tail?
Yeah, once you cut the tail off of a skunk,
Yep.
it really has very little value
Right.
because when people are making craft stuff, they want to use the tail, make a hat with the tail on. We have tons of skunks dressed without tails now, and
Yep.
we're going to have a lot more. You just can't sell big quantities like that.
Yeah, because it's going to flood the market now, so you're going to have all them.
So once I cut the tail off, the skin doesn't have
So
a
these
whole
are
lot
30.
of value.
Look at that
It's a
one.
real quick tail.
Oh.
That's something.
So why can't they? So they just use the white because it's the longer.
It's longer, yep, and it's got the right coarseness. So
The
this is
char-
what they're looking for, the
characteristic,
character. This one, if it was just a raw tail like this
Yep.
is stressed and dried already,
Okay, yep.
processed, whatever. This would be a $50 tail.
$50
Yep,
tail.
yep.
Okay.
So what do you have on these, Bryce?
30.
2 at 30?
Yep.
It's a good thing we cut that tail off.
Yeah.
And then 2 at 10, and that's the bottom of the number 3s. And then if you have a tail, if you have a skunk with a tail that doesn't have a usable
Yep.
thing, it is worth something on the skin, but
Yep.
it's not worth anything
Oh,
off
okay.
the skin because
So
then
you-
you can tan it and you'll
Yep.
keep the tail on it. You can use it for other purposes. Yep.
It's just good for guys to know that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
it's still good for the novelty market, but, this isn't good for the novelty market, but still it's good
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to see? I mean, would you rather see this or just clip the tails for these guys that are out there doing
Depending
it?
on the quality.
Depending on
On the
it's-
quality of
on
the
the
tails.
quality.
I mean, for us, with how many
So this wouldn't be worth anything without the tail.
without the skin.
Yeah, excuse
Without
me.
the skin.
Without
yeah.
the skin.
Yeah, those wouldn't be worth
So if we
anything
just
without the
brought
skin.
this
Yeah.
tail in and just.
I mean, this
you know,
one has
Has some.
enough. Yeah, it's just a little choppy looking there, but this one would not without the skin. It's new for the market. We're learning
that's,
as well.
That's why we
Right.
want to do this
Yep.
video so much.
Yeah, we do know that, I
We
do
were curious
know
on
that skunks den up, when they den up, they do get irritated on their tail, and
Yep.
that's where they start pulling first.
Okay.
So that's when they do often get choppy. That's why we call it that, okay?
Cool. All right, I'm with Guy and Gary Groenewald
Bryce.
and Bryce, and we're going to do a market update for the 25-26 season. So why don't you
Who are
start?
we with?
What's that?
Who are we with?
The MC Squallers
Yeah.
Okay, good.
from Minnesota. So, all right, why don't you guys kick it off?
Go ahead and start off, Guy.
Okay, I think the biggest question we get asked at this point is, like, I'd say 2 questions. One is, how long is the skunk market, going to last? And I guess probably second would be, the beaver market, what's going on there? And they are a little bit related. I think when the beaver market went up a couple years ago, I think that, I think we underestimated what or our customers, you might say, underestimated what could be produced at a certain price. And when the beaver got to a certain price, I mean, the trappers answered, and they killed a lot of beavers. I don't know, what the proper price is, but there is a level at which is kind of equilibrium with the beavers. And with the skunks, I think that's a little bit the same. I think these new prices, it's just going to depend on the exact same thing. Do these new prices go out and do they kill 10,000 skunks, the North American trappers, or do they kill 50,000 skunks? And I think 50,000 skunks. The market certainly doesn't stay where it's at today. And if they kill 5,000, certainly it'll remain this high. So I don't know if that answers your question, or I don't know if
You
that.
didn't ask a question.
Well, I don't know if that answer. Well, if you were talking to the general public,
yeah.
that's the question they're asking,
Yeah,
and we
yeah,
get
right,
3
right.
calls a day. I was
You
at
get
the
a lot, yeah.
I was at the Wisconsin Trappers Convention. Every person that came up to me at the convention
Everybody's asking.
asked the same question. So I think right now that is the market price, and when you're paying a market price that is historically really high, we have to be very careful, very very vigilant, and knowing that we can sell that product. And Groenewald Fur and Wool is around for 100 years for one reason, because we were vigilant, and when we saw things get difficult, we were always the first down, and we were always the first up when it got good. And we'll see how many are produced, and that's what we're paying today. I think these guys had some tails here, and they're going to show that, so they'll see what we're paying. And it's a fluid situation, and we are going to reevaluate every single day.
The good thing is they are in high demand.
Yeah.
You know, it's a positive thing. They are using them. They want them.
Do you guys want to explain what they're using them for?
Yeah, sure. We can. I mean, everybody knows they're used for the Hasidic hats, and you know, it's a high-end hat, and you know, the market is growing as far as the population of people that use it, and you know, that expensive of a hat, you know, we don't know. You know, it's kind of a new thing, and you know, are they going to use? You know, the quantities they're going to use. We don't totally know. But we do know, you know, at least it's in a demand. It's a demand item. Yeah. You know, it's not totally like we're just running out of supply of something, and there's a few people left using something. It's something that's new, and you know, it's just like, you know, the cowboy hats, and the cowboy hat market is still good, you know, for the beavers. But you know, just too many were produced. So we like markets where something's being used. Yeah. We're not interested in a market where the production just keeps falling and the use just keeps falling. We don't look at that as a great speculative play.
Yeah. And skunks it's hard to get big numbers in skunks. Like, if you're trapping, I mean, if you catch 100 skunks, that's quite a bit for a trapper. I mean, we went out for a week and we were running 20 traps, we only caught 4 skunks. I mean, you got a lot of ground, and you catch so many raccoons that you got to keep them out of there. And so I don't know if they'll get to 50,000 like beavers. I would say beavers are probably easier to get the numbers. I would say.
But the only thing is with beavers is, I guess, why us and others maybe miscalculated a little bit as far as what was going to be produced is, you know, you do have to go in water. Yeah. You know, I mean, it is a big trap. It's not a trap that, you know, a coon trapper just has laying around the house, you know, where a coon trapper does have a skunk trap laying around the house, you know, and it's, you know, it's kind of a totally different thing. So we just thought, but I guess there was a lot of beaver trappers that were just, you know, laying in the woodwork, and when it got good, you know, they were ready, and there was a lot of beavers.
And a long season.
And a long, and the other most important thing that we're not talking about with the beaver is there's a spring season. Yeah, and trappers today, they love to trap in their shirt sleeves. Yep, exactly. Whether it's coon in Missouri in December, which is kind of shirt sleeve weather anymore, or it's, you know, beavers in, you know, central Wisconsin, which is, you know, even northern Wisconsin in April, it's kind of shirt sleeve weather. So.
And then you mentioned, you know, you were skunk trapping, you caught a lot of coon. Yeah. You know, we want to encourage, you know, if you're going to go try to catch skunks, especially if you're in the north, if you do catch some coon, you know, keep your bigger coon. We're interested. They are worth something as well.
Yeah, the big heavy coon, we want, you know what I mean?
Yes,
Should encourage guys to go out there to be trapping. Obviously, the prime stuff, the big stuff is good, and the heavier stuff, the farther you are from Interstate 80, it's always better.
The farther you are north of it.
Farther you are north of it, I should say. And so, yeah, I mean, we like that type of coon. So, you know, Nebraska, you know, guys that catch a lot of skunks, a lot of coon. So it's a great opportunity for a trapper, actually. The coon/skunk market is very good for guys.
And we're not trappers here, but our assumption is you dry land for skunks. Is that right? Yep. So, you know, you dry land for skunks. The coon that you do catch are typically going to be a little bigger coon than being a water trapper. Yep. So go ahead.
Abandoned farms are good.
Yep. So
piles.
So you'll catch a little bigger coon. So keep that raccoon, and so yeah, you know, you catch the skunk and keep a few better coons.
Yeah, your coon up and through December, good. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Up and through, you threw a few of the springers away in December.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get it. Last year we were fortunate; they didn't turn springy until later.
Right.
But, it was a fortunate year, but yeah, keep your coon and keep trapping skunks. Okay. We got our routes going all through the areas.
Yep.
You want to talk any more about coon or beaver? You want to talk
Let's go with coon.
Coon,
yep.
Okay, we'll come back to beaver. We did touch on it just a little bit. We do want to talk about that. Go ahead, Gary and Bryce.
What do you want to say then? Okay, so coon, we can use coon, okay? I was just in China, and you can see the videos. We're going to be posting the videos, what they're actually being used for. They're being used to make hats, mostly, predominantly. The low end is being used for cheap liners and, you know, coats like that. But the better coon, like the coon I bought from him, those are going to be used for hats in China. That's what they're going to be used for. We did get an inquiry recently on some coon for Russia. That still exists. We're hoping that will come back even a little bit more. That's a desire that we hope that happens this year. The thing is, the lighter coon, the coat coon, on up to the semi-heavy, that's a harder sale right now.
Especially in the east.
Especially in the east. Especially in the east. The eastern coon is a very difficult sale because of the belly. I've showed people that many times, the way an eastern coon is. It's a very difficult sale. It goes in a completely different grade because it's not usable on the hat the way it goes up. I was just there. You'll see it on the videos. But so that's a difficult market. Okay?
If you live in the east and you do trap coon, you know, you've got a really small window. When that coon gets white leather, you got to trap for a week, and that's about it. That's because as soon as they start getting the discoloration, the bellies are gone, and you got issues on the backs. That's what I would say if you do trap in the east.
So is the Russia-Ukraine thing, is that the reason why we fell off so hard on raccoon? Or not having Russia in the market?
Actually, China's still getting some trims into Russia.
It has slowed down though.
But it definitely has slowed down.
I would say that a lot of items, and I hate to talk about ranch mink on a wild fur video, but a lot of items are so directly related to ranch mink. Raccoon being one of them, muskrats being one of them, wild mink being one of them, red fox being one of them. All the stuff they use to make kind of a commercial coat, they compete with the ranch mink. And so what happens is the overall market had kind of, stabilized, several years ago. Obviously we had the big drop and we got rid of a lot of ranch mink farmers and, and things were kind of, and then we had the war. And it just, overall killed, the ranch mink market. So that in turn has what's killed, a lot of our items. So we always, if we had another $20 on a ranch mink today, you just, your people couldn't turn to another item, and say, hey, I can just use it for a few bucks more. I can buy mink, and so everything was hurt by that war.
And ranch mink has gone up a little bit, but not as much as you thought.
No.
It's kind of been even the last year, hasn't it?
Yeah, with
Because they're running out. I mean, aren't they selling out of them mainly?
We've kind of reached a status quo. I mean, actually, they're going to raise a few more in China this year.
They are.
Yeah,
Okay.
because the price is at a level where you can make a couple bucks in China, and but production, in the West is I guess is very stable. I mean, maybe in the U.S. it's going to go down a little bit, but basically between Europe and here, it's kind of stable. But it's just at a real kind of break even or make a couple bucks deal in the West. So nobody's gonna add breeders on this year.
Why haven't the ranch mink spiked up after they called all of them? Didn't they kill all of them?
Yeah, but right then we had this war.
Yep.
And so we lost, we don't know exactly what numbers were, but Russia and between Russia and Ukraine, they took a tremendous amount of coats.
Yep.
Commercial coats, all the commercial stuff went there. And just all of a sudden, boom, that part of the market evaporated, millions of skins a year. I mean, there's Russia's in a very difficult way.
Yeah, they are. Yep.
And obviously Ukraine is,
Did COVID affect the fur industry because no one could go outside and wear a coat or go outside and purchase a coat? People were locked down in China and across the United States, the world. And then we had, after that, we have the war in Ukraine and Russia, okay? And now, I guess we have tariffs. And you say, well, how's tariffs affecting the fur industry? Not really super directly, but indirectly are, because consumer confidence. We're in the wool industry, and we see consumer confidence. As soon as they talk about tariffs in the U.S., consumer confidence goes down in the entire world on a world product.
Yep, it does,
So, I mean, we're facing all these things right now. Yeah. So
and the other thing that COVID did is it further deteriorated, which we were talking before the video started, people's attitudes towards high-end clothing. Because especially in China, everybody still wore a suit at work. And all of a sudden everybody worked from home, especially in China for a couple years. And people got used to wearing more casual clothing. So it even hurt the high-end clothing business even more. So all those things I mean, and you don't know what happens. I mean, people's consumer attitudes can change, and all of a sudden, everybody feels like dressing up again. You never know, how that happens.
And supply is low enough to when it does happen.
I mean,
Be
anything.
like skunks, where
I
it
mean,
shoots up
anything.
and then you
Anything in the wild fur business that if there's any type of push, you're going to get big price movements.
Yes, yep.
Because like the beaver, fine, they got a little too high.
Yep.
But, you saw what happens. We just had one TV show,
Yep.
one TV show in one country.
Yep.
And, you saw what happened to demand, and demand is still good. It's just we produced too many. But that's what happened. The skunks, there was no production at all, and obviously this happened, and boom. But yeah, it doesn't take much in any of these items, just a little bit.
And skunks have been kind of strong for the last couple of years, but it wasn't high enough to get people to go out and deal with them. That's the thing.
That's right. You're exactly right.
Go to beaver then. You want to touch on that?
Yeah, I mean, we're positive, on the beaver market because, like I said, even though the prices come down, it's not because really of usage.
Yep.
It was mostly because just we had this crazy production that nobody thought was possible.
Yep.
I mean, we bought beavers in areas, where there's no water.
Yeah.
Where do they even come from? I think now the price is probably, a little too cheap,
Yep.
to be honest. Not by our doing, but just we
Yep.
couldn't sell.
Yep.
What do you do with skins if there's more than what you can use? You can't. The old saying is you can't make soup out of them.
Yep.
So, or if you do, it doesn't taste very good. So, yeah. I mean, I like the market because they're using it.
Yep.
It's not a market where they came down because no one was using it. It
Yep.
just came down because production really ramped up much quicker than anybody
So the
thought.
demand's still strong, but not as strong as it was.
I wouldn't even totally say that.
Okay.
I mean, I think or maybe it's at least close.
Yep.
Maybe it's a little less. I think the demand was maybe a little injured, especially right at the top, because you think about what the manufacturers had to do to the retailers as
Yeah.
far as price increases.
Mm-hmm.
You only get, like a 15 or 18 or something like that, 20% yield on a hat for the wool, or out of the beaver. So you have to use if you use a few beavers. So maybe the price on the hats at retail probably went up 40% or something.
Yep.
So that probably hurt things a little bit as far as numbers goes. But it's probably back down a bit now, and I think the markets or the hat business is pretty good. So yeah, we like markets like that. We don't like, I say it all the time, we don't like markets where they're just not using it.
Kind of like raccoon, or would you say?
Yeah, I mean, with raccoon, it's not a market that we're going to speculate on because it's to me, it's still kind of a shrinking market.
Yep.
And until somebody, even last year in the fall, and Gary's talking about hats, like those hats in China were kind of really popular. Mm-hmm. And at this time last year, we were maybe a little more aggressive on the coon, and that was why.
Yep.
Because we had a product in China that was really kind of rolling, and so we bought some extra coon. We paid a little more, and we felt positive. I mean, the tariff thing. Gary talked about how it indirectly affects consumer confidence. Well, indirectly affects consumer confidence in China. Yep. The economy there, was seriously undermined. By the tariffs. And the other thing is it was seriously undermined 6 years ago when tariffs got put on.
Yep.
Just one thing I want to say about just wild fur is in China they have these online marketers, okay, and they're it's the way people buy. It's the way they don't go to Amazon. They go to they go to someone talking about a product. It's kind of like QVC. What do we have here? QVC, the channel that you buy, and
Well, we have influencers here that do the same thing.
But this is they watch it incessantly. They are glued to these channels.
Yep.
And these influencers can make something fly. There's a South American fox that they're using right now, and it's very high in demand. And this is what can happen in China. It's
Yes.
like you said, if there's not enough, there's not enough. As soon as they influence, and they're looking to influence something where they can get enough. And so this is hope with the raccoon, the coyote, the beaver, whatever it is, muskrats. This is the hope that that will catch. And there are people out there. I saw the channels when I was there that are marketing furs.
Yep.
Okay. They're marketing the raccoons. I saw the raccoons that they were marketing. I saw the muskrat coats. I saw the coyote coats they were marketing. So if it catches, it's big in China.
Right. Yep.
So
And we push our guys to work with these guys.
our guys
Yes.
work with these guys, and we're trying to work with them. They get the dress fur. They're going to them. They're marketing to them. They're telling them how to work. That's why I looked at that to see what we're doing. So our guys are specifically targeting that.
And we are uniquely set up to work with them because we have dressed product
Yep.
in China.
Yep.
Because what happens is they will only sell online a product that they don't have to buy.
Yep.
So they sell 600 this night. They literally go out and source the raccoon the next morning, which is from us
Yep.
because there's nobody else that has dressed coon there.
Yep.
And they have it.
So that helps you on the tariff front because you don't need to sell them going in. So you're shipping them in and then
Yeah, well,
there's that a sticky side.
It's
Yeah.
complicated.
yeah, it's a
okay.
little complicated.
But that's our marketing strategy. We have stores there. We have
Yeah.
dress fur there. We're not selling.
They can
raw
buy
skins.
20, go make
Yep,
it.
they go make it and get them shipped, and then
Zero inventory.
Yes.
Inventory costs.
Yeah.
Inventory costs money. Then inventory that isn't sold costs money. But inventory that's sold doesn't. It's profit.
Have you always been doing that, or did you start that like 10 years ago?
Him and Bryce started it
6 years ago, probably.
6 years ago.
Yeah, we wouldn't ship a coon unless it was paid for. You know, if we did that today, we wouldn't sell 10,000 coon a year.
Right.
We wouldn't sell. We wouldn't exist actually.
Yeah, it wouldn't be possible to
Yep.
work with coon.
And the only reason, and I don't want to, that coon even exists as a product, is really because we do that.
Yeah.
Because and then there can be a few competitors, and then you can't have a product in China unless it's there.
Yeah.
And otherwise it will go off of their radar, and it just won't exist in their product lines.
Yeah. Because they don't want to sit on the inventory.
They don't want to sit on the inventory. Even like in Helsinki at the auction, you used to have at Saga, the manufacturers used to come in, and the manufacturers were huge. There were a lot of Hong Kong guys.
Yep.
They'd buy 150, 200, 300,000 mink a sale.
Yep.
Those guys are all gone, and now the manufacturers in China, even though some of the bigger ones used to go to the auctions, they don't do it anymore. Because they only want to buy in China. So you have dealers that go over there, speculate, they buy the skins, and they dress them, and the manufacturers come in when they get the orders.
Yep.
And it's totally changed, even for the big mink auctions, who is actually buying the skins. It's not the manufacturer anymore.
So one question I got for you, is there a lot of raccoons in the freezers still sitting over here that they don't have the same outlet as you guys do?
There are some.
Yep.
There are some, some are other people's sitting in our freezers,
yeah,
actually, because, there's so many freezers that have been turned off. They just call us up. Hey, will you store our raccoon for us?
Yeah.
And we do it.
Also, there's still some dressed coon in China. That I was
Stale. Like
stale coon.
10 years.
10 years old. When I was there,
Yep.
I saw just say your dress raccoon from us.
Yep.
And then the guy is our customer.
Yep.
But then if we move the price up just a little bit,
Yep.
the stale stuff comes out, and sure enough, this one guy, we went to visit our customers, and he had a trunk load full of raccoons,
Yeah.
and they weren't ours.
Yep.
They were 10 years old. They were from a guy that we had sold to 10 years ago. And
10 years old.
10 years old.
And they look
13,
poorer,
Yep.
but
13, they might have been 12 years old.
So if we get any kind of price increase, the stuff in the freezers will come out. So it might take a little while to get.
yeah.
It's got to be way down there.
Oh,
it's got to be
it
way
is,
down. We've
okay.
heard that so many years.
I know,
and
that's-
we're still surprised, but it's got to be way down there. I mean, there cannot be much left.
The amount of coon in 14, 15 that was
Yes.
in storage in China, that people
Yeah.
that were making fortunes, that had 300,000 coon,
Yep.
just laying over there thinking, I'm parking a little money here because, I paid 40 for them, and, a couple of years I'll sell them for 80. It was, there must have been 2 million coon over there.
What was
And-
driving that market in 13?
Well, they had a lot. Okay, I mean, first of all, there was sales.
Yep.
You had Russia rocking, you had China rocking, you had Ukraine rocking, you had, it was just, China's economy then was so hot.
Yep.
So hot. I mean, everybody was, doubling money on their houses, and you get all this funny money. So that was one thing. The second thing was the fur business was expanding so fast that just to be an operator there, maybe you needed 10,000 mink.
Yep.
Well, in China, for 1,000 shops to open up, that's nothing. Do the math. That's millions of mink.
Yep.
And so there was a lot of it was just filling this pipeline. So there was probably double the production at the very peak of mink of what was actually used. And then boom, it came down, and we lost a lot of mink ranchers really quick. And then it got slower losing them. And but and it got brutal.
They thought they'd hold on and see if it
Sure.
would come back. And
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So yeah, there had to be 2 million coon for sure in China, and there had to be 3 million coon here, right, Gary? There had to be. We knew people with 100,000 here and
Yeah.
400,000, and
Yeah.
we had 400,000.
Yeah, just our local dealer, I think they had 30,000 they sent that year.
Yeah,
And that's
sure.
just small town Martin County.
Yeah.
But, what about muskrat?
At the end of the year last year, when we were buying, I mean, it was brutal.
Yep.
We hadn't sold in a year and a half, and the tariff talk was just as hot as could be. It was very, very difficult situation. I mean, we did. If a guy showed up with rats, we didn't even want to see him. That's how bad it was.
Yep.
And compared to that, we've sold some this spring or this fall, and we're certainly, when a guy comes with rats, we'll smile again.
Yep.
It was almost a whole year of when a guy came with rats, you didn't want to see him. But yeah, there's some influencers, selling some rats, right, Gary?
Yeah, that's what it is. They're using a Kazakhstan rat, but they might have to go to an American rat.
Okay. So we
Or
could
if
see
they
some
switch,
demand there.
maybe the style they want is an American rat, that could help. But yeah,
So-
that is on track.
Because usually muskrat does not stay down this long, correct? Normally,
The old saying in the fur business from London, from 100 years, from forever,
Yep.
was if there is no business in muskrats, there's no fur business.
right.
And so, yeah, to answer your question, yeah, that is kind of a
Yep.
thought that it doesn't
It usually comes around
Yeah.
after 3-4 years.
Yeah, I mean, and usually there's always a business.
Yep.
You can just call somebody up and sell your rats.
Yep.
And we really went a year and a half, and you couldn't do just that. It's the first time in my lifetime, really, besides maybe a small period where something was just terrible, like the housing crisis,
Yep.
or but even in 14 we could sell rats when the coon were coming down, and then they were kind of good, I think, in 17 again, and but yeah, there's no period in my life that we went a year and a half and really didn't sell a rat, never.
Yep.
The red fox.
Red fox.
Red
Yep.
fox. Maybe a tick up. We can use them, trap them, go get them. That's what I would suggest. You're on the land trapping, get
Yep.
red fox. Out east, get red fox. New York State, get red fox. Pennsylvania, get red fox. Wherever they're at, get red fox. Mink, go out get mink. You're trapping the land. Seeing what happened. Mink are going to be up a little bit from last year.
Okay.
So go out and get the mink too. Yeah, be a mink trapper.
I'd say mink will be double really what we paid last year.
Yeah, close to it.
Close
So
to
what would the
double.
top end be, you think?
Maybe stretch and dry 12 for a big
Yeah,
buck, 10.
yeah,
10,
for
12.
sure, $12.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss trapping mink.
Yeah.
Well, here's your
You all
opportunity.
pocket set, you can catch mink, muskrat, coon, and
Sure.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
make
True
money on
trapper.
all of them,
That's a
but
true
it's just-
Sure.
True trapper.
It's been tough.
So the beaver, we talked about otter, very similar to last year. Coyotes.
I would say it's the only thing that's really negative.
Yep.
Yeah.
That we would give a little bit of a negative spin on. Everything else, I mean, I know to a trapper, a mink going from, a top going from 6 to 12
Yeah.
is maybe not that big of a deal, but to us it's a very big deal,
Yeah.
and to be able to have a smile on our face when we buy that item. But the coyote it's a difficult item. I mean, the blue fox in China, are just for nothing.
I know.
And the parka is not super popular right now, and they've got the blue fox to use. So it's a very difficult. If you want to trap one, yes, we'll buy it, but it's not going to be.
So are the blue fox, are them coming down in numbers?
Oh, that's a little bit the problem. I mean, in Finland, they'll have 100. They used to have 2 million. They'll have 150,000. But in China, they raise them and they can actually make a buck or two.
Yep. And they can produce them fast too, can't they? If the market responds.
I guess. I mean, I don't know what the pup rate is, but yeah, I mean, you got to start saving breeders. I mean, there's nothing going right now. So.
Okay, deer hides. You guys buy a lot of
Go
deer
ahead,
hides.
Gary.
Okay, the deer hides, so we want your deer hides this year. When you bring them to us, roll them up, leave the tail out, when you freeze them or if you salt them or however you do them, bring them fresh. If the tail's on, we give you, for 2 hides, we give you a pair of gloves like this. This is an insulated glove, top grain leather, okay, deer skin, really nice glove. Another nice glove. This is for 1. If you just bring us 1 with the tail on, we give you these. That's a simple trade. So we'll have these at the truck. And what are you gonna do with the coats?
And the coats, if you have, and I know it's a lot of deer hides, if you have 25 deer hides
With the tails on.
with the tails on, we'll give you a coat. And we obviously are not going to have the coat on the truck.
And what we're gonna do is, we're gonna give you a receipt, and the receipt, you'll mail, you'll work with the receipt, and you'll get the coat, and there will be no returns on that. We can't afford a return.
Yeah,
something
it's gonna
like
be-
that.
it's gonna
So
be-
the coat that you order is a coat that you get, okay?
Okay.
And then some of the colors will go fast. I'll just tell you that. And if some guys have called with fur. So essentially, like we're selling that coat for say $250, and you bring 25 deer hides. It's almost like we're multiplying the price of the deer hide by 2. We're almost giving you like $10 on the deer hide, you might say, if you buy a coat. So we are not going to do that on the fur. We just don't have the margin on the fur to do that. So if you have $350 worth of fur, we're going to do
We'll work you a receipt.
We'll work you a receipt and we'll get you a coat for
It
$300.
has to be $350.
Yeah, but so the fur has got to be $350, and basically, I don't know how you want to figure it, but you got to have the equivalent of 25 deer hides.
Okay.
Do you guys want to show them the code since you brought it up? Or
Yeah, actually,
Sure, grab one there, Gary.
So this is a,
Here, hold on.
You got it.
you want me to do it right here? Really good Western Coyote. I can show you all the features on it, but it's got pockets galore on the inside, it's downline, and it's got the real Coyote trim. And the super heavy duty, it's got the reflective tape on there. You can use it for dress up, or you use it for your trap line, your snowmobile, whatever you want to use it for. It's a great warm coat. With it, the warmth is not a factor, and sturdiness is not a factor. It's a great coat.
It's a great coat. Okay, so the one thing is, we would really rather buy the skunk tail.
Yep.
Okay, but, if you don't have a skunk attached to that and the tail market falls,
Yep.
we're also not responsible if
Yep.
you've got a tail that's now not marketable, or a skin that's not marketable now because your tail is gone. So we want to be full disclosure there. But I'm just telling you, we don't know what happens to the market. The beaver thing could happen. They could produce 50,000 skunks this year, and we've got a little bit of a mess.
Yep.
But if all things being equal, we just assume, you've got some guy in Ohio where we come once a year, and you've chopped 100 skunk tails off, and you've gone through it.
Yep.
If you've got them chopped off, nobody's going to buy them because a skunk is worth something with the hide on it. So anyway, just wanted to cover that.
Cool.
And did I miss it? But bone out, make sure they're
Bone out,
Yes.
sure. Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah.
Which is
Skunks
very simple.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
skunks are
very
easy to skin, isn't it?
Very
The
easy to
easiest
skin.
animal
You just
there is
got to
to
get
skin.
around the sack and get.
Yeah.
You poke
We
into
did-
that, it gets real poke.
We didn't mention anything about cats. Western cats, obviously, we'll be after those. I mean, you guys are in that area. And also the pine marten, the sable.
Yep.
It's the Canadian guys, Bryce will be talking about that later.
Yeah, and that's another item where, there's not that many produced, the
Those are
sables.
good markets.
And it's kind of being used right now.
Yep.
And chinchillas, I know that's not a trapper thing, but it's not being, there's hardly any produced right now, and it's really a hot item, and the price is crazy.
I didn't even know that was a fur item.
Yeah, so anything that gets hot,
Yep.
you know, is going to go to the moon, at least initially, because there's just none of this stuff produced.
Just praying it's raccoon. That's all, we
Yeah,
need
just-
a raccoon market.
You know, I mean,
that's
for
the one
us,
thing.
the raccoon market
get
is the
numbers.
most important thing. We have a scraping machine.
Yep.
We are in the area where there are raccoon. We are traditionally known as a raccoon buyer. I mean, a $10 bump in the price of raccoon for us.
Yes.
You know, it would just be, you know, I mean, would we, you know, we'd rather not do all this other stuff we do and just buy coon. You know.
Talk about when does it
Yeah,
start?
hey, guys, this is actually one of the best years of trapping I can think of, if you think about it, because look, you can trap on land, you can trap for coon and skunks at the same time, you can go after mink, you're not depressed about that. Get beaver, we're not depressed about the beaver market at this point, right?
Yeah.
Red fox is something that, you know, it kept going down, at least it has a floor now, and you feel like it's actually doing something. You know, like, you know, animals like that, you know, like you're a trapper again, and you know what you have, and you don't come to the truck saying, do you take this? Yes, we take it. You know, we used to come to the people, you say, do you take coon? Yes, you know, we want coon, you know what I mean? We can use them. So, yeah, I'm telling guys to be a trapper, you know what I mean? We can use otter, we can use beaver. You know, this is a better year than any year, in my opinion, for a trapper.
So I was gonna ask, you more optimistic now than the last 5 years?
Yeah, as a whole. As a whole.
It's fine.
You know,
Yeah.
we sold muskrats.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We sold
Yeah.
muskrats. It's like, you know, last year, let's try to be optimistic with coon. This year, you know what I mean? And we knew beaver were gonna continue to go down during the year. So yeah, we're more optimistic on more items this year than we have been, to tell trappers the truth. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you two. If you guys want to check their website out, they got the routes posted on there.
Not
We
yet.
will.
No,
We're working
we will.
on them today. We're working on them today.
They'll have them out there by the time we get the video out. But
Okay.
all right, so yeah, I hope you guys like that video. If you want to like and subscribe, and these guys got a YouTube page too. If you want to follow them. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks.